Amen. Amen. Awesome. All right. So tonight I am excited. This got delayed quite a few times, and that is my fault. Pushing back Jelena several times to kind of keep things at a good pace, and really tonight is the perfect time to have my friend Jelena out. For those of you that don't know her, Jelena is a top earner, top recruiter in the network marketing industry. I've shared the stage with her at conferences, different speaking events on more than one occasion, and we did really well together in a company called My Lead System Pro. It was an affiliate opportunity. I mean, me and Jelena are some of the trainers over there, as well as the top earners and recruiters, all that good stuff. And it was funny. I was the youngest leader in the company for the longest time, and then Jelena showed up and started tearing it up and has dethroned me and taken that title. But no, she is just phenomenal. And what she does on social media and the content that she creates has really high engagement, and she has a way of really connecting with people well online. So I've invited her tonight to train for us and really teach you guys how to create clients using social media posts and some of your content. Jelena is actually in Russia, so I think it's like 3 a.m. over there for her. So she's shown up extra late and last minute for us as well. So we'll get her started in a minute here. But first, let me, Jordan, did you want to do our announcement tonight?
Yeah, we can make the announcement tonight.
All right, cool. So we have some exciting news. Well, bittersweet news. We'll say it like that. So I say bittersweet is because one of the things that we really hope to happen here at Christ-Centered Coaching is for everyone's business to grow and get to a point where they outgrow us. That you're not linked or dependent upon us forever. And the news I'm about to announce, we knew was coming for a little bit now, and the Lord just kind of recently accelerated that. So we knew this was coming. Maybe you guys didn't, but I'll just say it like this. Jordan is going to be graduating here from Christ-Centered Coaching and transitioning to go 100% Good Spark. So he'll be doing his own funnels and growing his business there. Really exciting stuff. The Lord's kind of highlighted, Christian event producers, event owners for him to kind of work with, and he'll be doing that. Jordan still be doing funnel fulfillment for us. He'll be, doing our funnels for our clients. And the gentleman that we have doing funnels as well, I don't know if you guys have met him yet, Carlos, but Carlos has been trained by Jordan. He's the one who did the funnels we showed you guys recently on a Monday night. So he's just phenomenal. Jordan trained him. He knows our whole system. And yeah, so everything will kind of continue without really any bumps in the road. But I want to say congratulations to Jordan. I guess you guys kind of get how it's bittersweet here.
Well, thank you guys. Yeah. Thank you so much. And, Ron, I appreciate that a lot. Guys, the comments, that means a lot to me as well. So thank you very much. It's been just such an honor and a blessing and a privilege to just get to know you guys and to see, how the Lord is moving in your lives and how he is progressing in your businesses and all this stuff as you're being led by him. So it has just truly just been an honor, and it's been an honor working with Ron, and I couldn't speak more highly of him. You are in such amazing and capable and incredible hands with him and with the team here. Oh my goodness, just absolutely blown away. And like just seeing what the Lord is doing in my life and my business and my family's life. It's just like, just amazing and blowing my mind at the same time. So yeah, it's definitely bittersweet as Ron put it. And just to kind of reassure you guys, your funnels are still going to get done. You're still in really amazing, capable hands. And yeah, like Ron had said, we have a system in place now to fulfill with all of your funnels, with everything. So yeah, like, kind of like he said, we're not trying to, or there won't be, a beat skipped. Like it's still gonna all go on. And yeah, just excited for what the Lord has in store for all of you, for my family, for our business, and just really just blown away. Just my heart is very full. And we've been able to see the Lord move incredibly just recently. And so I love you guys really, truly from the bottom of my heart. And it's a pleasure to know you guys, to meet you all. And yeah, I'm really thankful for you.
Yep. Thank you, Jordan. So, yes, so for those of you that just hopped on, I just kind of broke the news that Jordan will be going on his own path with Good Spark, and we will miss him. He'll still be doing work for us, and I'm sure I'll twist his arm from here time to have him come train now and then and again. But yeah, this is something the Lord told us we knew it was going to happen.
I had no idea.
And okay, there we go. This is something we knew, was coming for a while, and we're just excited to kind of see the Lord accelerate this. And at the same time, we're seeing him, bring some acceleration into a lot of our clients' businesses as well. I don't think Sadie is quite on here yet. I think she took the day off finally with all the projects she has doing. But I want to give Coach Sadie a round of applause for successfully launching her first challenge and earning over $20,000 in clients. Pretty darn cool, right? Her first challenge event.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yep.
She shared some testimonies with me of some of the stuff that happened with the women that were on there, of just like the healing and deliverance that they received. And like at the end of the day, like that's what it's about. It's people being set free by Jesus. Like it's such a wonderful, beautiful thing. And like, that's just so amazing. So yeah, I'm really proud of Sadie.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, we'll pray for you at the end here, Jordan. One of the things that you can do, Jordan doesn't know I'm about to ask for this, but if you want to bless him and bless Good Spark and see them well on their way, one of the things that you can do is cut him a testimonial video, just sharing what has it been like to work with Jordan. How has he impacted your life? How has Good Spark helped you? Testimonials, social proof, credibility speaks volumes, right? So if you feel that's something that you can do for him, please cut a video. And Jordan, what's the best way to send that to you?
Yeah, you could just send it in Messenger. Honestly, that's probably the easiest way. Thank you. I really appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, surprise. Very cool. All right, now that we got everybody here, I'll do a real quick re-intro. Tonight, we have a special guest, friend of mine, Jelena Ostrovka. She is a online marketing expert. She's very gifted in social media. I've had the pleasure of being friends and knowing her for, I don't even know how many years, Jelena. But we came up together in a system called My Lead System Pro. We were both top earners and top performers in that company, trainers as well. I've shared the stage with Jelena a number of times, and she is just absolutely phenomenal. And I couldn't think of anybody better to train you on, getting clients with social media and how to create engaging social media posts. A lot of times I say, like, create content, go make videos, write stuff. Well, social media posts are content too, and they can get you clients and customers as well. So without further ado, let me pull Jelena out here and pass the mic over to her. Jelena, how's it going? How are you?
Hey, can you hear me?
We can hear you, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's like 1 a.m., so I'm totally off camera, if that's fine.
For those of you that don't know, Jelena is also in Russia.
Yeah, I mean, I'm next to Russia. Yeah, I'm in a tiny little European country, but I am Russian, yeah.
Oh, she's Russian. What country are you in again?
I'm in Latvia.
Latvia. Okay, cool. So we will definitely give you some grace since it's super late, super late over there. We appreciate you coming out to train our crew tonight. I'm going to sit back and be a student myself tonight. So the floor is yours, Jelena.
All right, thank you. Let me just go ahead and make the screen share. Okay, let me just do the whole desktop because I never know. Okay, let me hit present. All right, can you all see the screen?
Yep, we're good.
All right, so I'm super excited to share this as I'm going to give you like a little background. I mean, Ron already gave it, but today we're going to talk all things about organic growth and content strategies and ultimately how to put yourself out there with, given all the new technology, all the new strategies, because it's 2021 and it still blows my mind when people still use the strategies from 2014, 2015. Now, don't get me wrong, there's all sorts of different strategies that are effective, but I always say you gotta go with the time and always innovate in your business, because if you're still just posting quotes on Instagram, that's not it. Like, don't get like quotes work, but that's just not the only growth strategy. So I'm going to share with you kind of what I've been doing this year and what I have put to practice, and obviously give you all sorts of examples. So I have been in the home business industry and in the online marketing industry for quite some time now. I joined the very first network marketing company back in 2013, got certified as a business coach back in 2016, been known as a top network marketing blogger, spoke on stages multiple times, been like very active with social media and content marketing. I've done pretty much all of it. YouTube, blogging. I mean, I've published well over 400 YouTube videos, 400 blog posts, all of it. So started a social media agency in 2021. And on the side, I'm also personal development addict, junkie, travel lover whenever it's not COVID. And I'm Russian, as you can tell probably by the accents, definitely not American. So let's dive right in. So today we're going to talk a lot about video marketing, as it's a huge part right now of every single social media platform. So I always say to people, if you're not on social media, if you're not on video marketing, you got to get into it. Which platforms are hot right now? We're also going to talk about how to diversify into different platforms without losing your sanity, because back in 2014, when I was first starting out in digital marketing, everybody was telling me how you have to focus on one platform and go for one. These days, given how many platforms we have, it's my belief that you really cannot be just on one platform. You have to be on a couple. And we're also going to talk about how to attract your dream clients and customers through organic engagement. So let's dive right in. So feel free to drop any questions. I'm sure there's a Q&A box somewhere, so I can take some questions at the end. And I'm sure Ron is going to take like a whole bunch after, once I'm like passed out. So let's talk first about the platforms that are the platforms basically of the 2021. Number one, TikTok. I feel like everybody has heard about it. That's where pretty much everybody spends their time during lockdowns, quarantines, all that kind of stuff. So I feel like that's how a lot of people survived all of that in the last year. So, and I have been very against TikTok in the beginning because of all the security issues and all that kind of stuff, but it's proven to stay here. And there's also a big myth that I do want to say, that in the beginning, it definitely started out as a platform that, oh, it's just for young kids, it's just for, this Gen Z, young people. And I'm just recently found out that I'm apparently Gen Z, but I'm like the old one, I'm 26. So, but TikTok is not just for kids. I've seen relationship experts there, I've seen coaches, I've seen consultants, I've seen social media managers, I've seen doctors, like anybody can build an audience there. And the algorithm, the way it works there is just unmatched to anything else. YouTube, again, I feel like it's such a huge platform, and the competition is still not there because not everybody is going to stick to YouTube to grow, to 100,000 subscribers, to 1 million subscribers, to really, because people, not everybody's going to have the skin in the game, and that's why there's not a whole lot of success stories on YouTube. But maybe it's going to be you, right? So YouTube is the next platform, and Instagram. So, and these are kind of the platforms that I have put a lot of focus, especially in 2021. I've been on all of them consistently. But Instagram has been such a vital platform, I feel like, in client generation, in, growing your brand as well. Because just imagine when you go to a live event, which hopefully we're going to go to some of those soon, or you go to a networking meeting or whatnot. I don't know about you, but I rarely ever exchanged Facebook accounts. I mean, I have in the past, but a lot, like every single time somebody comes up to me, they say, "Hey, what's your Instagram handle?" So I don't know if anybody noticed that, but that's kind of always the thing, right? No one's gonna ask you for your YouTube channel. They can find out about your YouTube channel later, but the first platform has always, for some reason, been Instagram. So, and I've always actually been a Facebook person. So we'll talk about that in just a second, because my very first foundation, everything I've built in the beginning, has been based around Facebook, not Facebook ads, just pure organic marketing growth. Okay, so let's talk about TikTok first. So the algorithm is, like I said, it's amazing. And I was just talking to a friend of mine, and I was saying to her, it's very interesting how, first of all, TikTok is very intuitive, like the For You page, because you're going to have, one feed where you just follow the people, and you're going to see their videos and you can keep scrolling for however long. And then you're going to have a For You page, which is generally the homepage where you land. So, and I've tested this for myself, because in the beginning, I've seen a lot of people locally here in Latvia, and I'm not really interested in their content. That's not my target audience. I don't want them to see my content in the first place. And I started kind of playing with the feed a little bit. I started clicking not interested. If there's a piece of content that I don't want to see, I click not interested, and TikTok is going to stop showing me content similar to that, right? So that's one concept to understand. And then what I started doing is, once I found, some business related content, some entrepreneurship, social media, I started engaging and really commenting on that content. Literally a few days later, my feed was completely different. I stopped seeing all the local content, and all I started seeing has been basically my dream clients. You know what I mean? Or the people who had the audience of my dream clients. You know what I mean? So, and it can literally take you, I consider myself a newbie on TikTok. In the beginning, it definitely takes some time to grow, and I will talk more about the content, how often to post, and things like that. But, you know, most of you guys likely being in the United States, it's so much easier to go viral there than I feel like in a tiny little country like me, because you still see the local people, like the local people are still going to see you. You know what I mean? So there's a lot more people in the United States than in Latvia. So, but you're going to have a lot more eyeballs on your brand. And again, it's not just for teenagers. It's not just for those annoying Gen Z that say that, oh, if you're born in 1995, you're old. No. You still have your target audience, because TikTok has been around for a minute now. So maybe last March 2020, we all remember that month. Back then, you might have not reached your target audience, but the platform really changed in a year. And there have been a lot of changes, just, like internal changes on the platform. So it is very easy to create content. I'm going to have a freebie, Ron, hopefully that's okay. I'm going to give you guys the slides. So if you don't manage to take like all the notes, I'll give you the link where you can download it. I've actually put together like a freebie with 333 video ideas for TikTok. So, or for Instagram Reels. We're going to talk about that as well. So you'll never struggle with, what is it that I'm supposed to be creating. And I mean, it's so much easier. Like TikTok is so much easier than, let's say, YouTube or even Facebook Live, because Facebook Live, generally you're there for like 10, 20 minutes. This is literally 15, 60 seconds. Now, sometimes it does take a little bit longer to record, depending the complexity of the video, because you've probably seen some videos with like transitions and like magical video editing. You don't really have to worry about a whole lot of that. Usually, in a day, the maximum that I knocked out has been 15 TikToks. that I then repurposed into, sometimes YouTube, sometimes Instagram Reels, generally Instagram Reels. And then, I mean, it's just so fast. You know what I mean? So it's not like you have to record a 15-minute YouTube video or a Facebook Live and get all pretty and all that kind of stuff. Not to mention, with all the filters, you don't even have to put makeup on if you're a woman. So there's a plus in that too. So
Awesome.
easy to publish. Here's the thing, like with Instagram, for example, I mean, you probably all know about Instagram Reels too. 30-second video clips, vertical, you keep scrolling until you're, passing out. But you also have to put together a caption, right? So I've seen several creators really put a lot of time and effort and a lot of, long captions on Instagram Reels. On TikTok, you only have like 160 characters, something like that. So it's a really short caption, and generally you just put hashtags there so you reach your target audience. You basically do not spend any time there. So you can knock out a whole bunch of videos just, in a single day. Now, the downside, if you do choose TikTok to be one of your platforms to promote, your other social media outlets, the downside is, according to a lot of creators, and I do see this in effect as well, the more you post there, the better. So I would suggest start with posting one TikTok a day. And then if you can bump it up to 3 to 2, that will definitely accelerate your growth. So that's probably the only downside. But again, it's not like you're publishing, 30-minute videos. So there's that. Now, the other thing that I will say, so TikTok has changed several different things, but I'm going to give you the main two things, like, because a lot of people say, oh, like I have to be everywhere. Not necessarily. So I usually take, and I'm pretty sure I have it like on my slides here as well. I take a TikTok, and if it's relevant to my audience on Instagram, if it's not, just a random TikTok, me reacting to somebody, or, I mean, I don't personally dance on TikTok. So if you're worried about that, you don't have to be doing nothing dancey. So you like none of that. Like you can totally focus on educational content or focus on some trends or something like that. Now, when it comes to what you can do with TikTok, like what are you supposed to be doing with all those eyeballs that you're going to be getting on your brand? You can put a clickable link to your Instagram account, and you can put a clickable link in your bio that goes to your YouTube channel. So, and I've seen several creators there post little snippets of a YouTube video, and then they say, hey, for the full video, go over to YouTube. So that's just something else that you can do, especially if you can catch the attention and share something that's like, piques a lot of curiosity. You can always move people to YouTube, and you just say, hey, go to the link in my bio, and super easy, right? Now, the other thing that you can do, and that's a new update by TikTok, so you can have a clickable link in your bio right now. So I don't know how familiar you guys are with TikTok, but the rule used to be to where you had to have 1,000 followers for you to put the link. Right now, they're making this update. I still haven't got it, probably because I live in Latvia and we usually get updates last. But if you are on Android, you likely already have it. All you have to do, go edit your bio, and you're likely going to see like a spot for a clickable website. So if you have a freebie that you want to promote, if you have, I don't know, a store or a new program you're launching or a free challenge or a webinar, you can put it up there and promote it in your videos as well. So, and again, with the reach there, it's like you're going to reach a lot of people.
Yeah, I had a question for you. Can you go back to your TikTok for a second? So for those of us that don't know what you're talking about when you say like the algorithm is better here, I think, am I understanding you right when you're saying like it's easier to get more eyeballs on your stuff on TikTok compared to other platforms?
It's definitely easier because TikTok curates the content for you. So, I mean, and if you put relevant hashtags, if you put, niched hashtags, which basically the hashtags that are, I would say, less than 1 million videos in them, and you can always do the search. You go into TikTok and like you search for the hashtags. I'm going to give you some examples here throughout the slides too. But the way, like, when people talk about, I'm sure you heard about it, oh, like I want to go viral and reach millions of people. Well, I mean, on YouTube, that may take you years. On TikTok, I've seen people go viral in like a matter of months. Now, I'm not saying that has to be the goal because you don't really control, like viral marketing is one of those things that you never know when it's going to happen. But with TikTok, you're most likely to reach your ideal audience if you basically optimize your content and then leave the rest to TikTok, because they are going to show your content to relevant people.
That makes sense. So what I'm hearing you say is that if I was brand new to TikTok, which I think most of us are, throw your hand up if you're brand new to TikTok. I'm new to TikTok as well. All right, so pretty much everybody. So we're all new here, Jelena. So if I'm brand new to TikTok, it sounds like what I want to do is follow people that are doing similar stuff to what I am. If I'm a parenting coach, for example, I may follow other people that are teaching parenting. And finding those hashtags, faith-based parenting and stuff like that, right?
Yep, definitely.
Cool. All right, I think we're getting it.
Yeah, because I mean, the big question that I always get is, where do I get ideas? How do I figure out what should my first video be about? So I always say, like, on TikTok, there's going to be two types of videos that you're going to create. Number one is going to be, the trending content, and you don't have to jump on every trend, and trend can be, some sort of challenge that everybody's talking about, or it could be, I don't know, some sort of dance, which if you're into that kind of stuff, you can do that. I'm not. So if there's a dance challenge, I'm just never doing that. A friend of mine tried to teach me dancing when I was visiting her last year, but it just didn't work out that well. So basically so trending is the number one kind of piece of content type of content that you're going to be creating. And the second one is evergreen content that if somebody comes to your profile, 3 months from now, it's still going to be relevant. So like a parenting tip or, whatever else. What I would recommend for you to do in the beginning, when you're just getting in there, always get your profile set up, who you are, what you do. I believe it's only like 180 characters, or no, actually it's 80 characters. So you just put like a few bullet points about yourself and then give a link, and then always put your Instagram and YouTube, because you never know how you're going to attract your next client. So always cross promote your platforms. And then scroll through your For You page and train your For You page to show you the kind of content that you want to see. And if you can't really find anything, go into, hold on, let me like pull up TikTok on my phone real quick. I'm going to show you, well, I'm not going to show you, like you just click on the discover, like you're going to see at the very bottom, maybe like make a note of that. There's a discover page where you see like all the trends or whatever, and put a hashtag in the search, right? Just put like hashtag parenting tips or hashtag online coaching or hashtag health and wellness. And you're going to see a lot of other creators who are doing similar to what you want to do, and start engaging with them. And 2 days from now, maybe even a day from now, you'll see your For You page, like your main feed is going to be like 180 degrees change. And from there, what you can do is, a lot of the times people say, oh, but how do I find that trending content? How do I go viral with something that's already, how do I say that? It's, something that's getting picked up by the algorithm, basically by the TikTok platform. I always say, just scroll and see what repetitive patterns are you seeing. What do you see that keeps showing up, right? What do you see, like what kind of sound, what kind of, is there, like I said, a challenge or going on? But in the beginning, share what you know best. Share what you know best about your niche, whether it's, objections, mistakes, tips. 3 tips. I feel like that's always the magic number. It always works like a charm on any platform. So start with the easiest, and then you can kind of ease into the platform. That's honestly how I started. I was posting a whole bunch of nonsense in the beginning, and then I just kind of eased into it. And the other thing that you can do, I can't remember if I have it in the slides. A lot of the times I would go to my YouTube channel. So if you already have content created, don't overthink it. Take your longer piece of content, whether it's a Facebook Live or a YouTube video, and basically trim it down. So instead of it being 10-minute video, you cut down all the other, noise, should I say, like all the other, fluff, and you literally just go like basically share the bullet points. Hey, this is tip number 1, tip number 2, tip number 3. And the rule of video marketing is still remaining the same. In the beginning, you start with a hook. Hey, would you like to learn how to make your kids do whatever, to clean the room, right? So if you're talking about, parenting hacks or whatever, and then you dive into the tips, and then you can at the end give a call to action. Hey, follow me for more. Or don't even have to say that. You can just put the text on your video and like point to your face, and basically that's going to be it. So don't overcomplicate it, start simple, and you're going to learn as you go. And there's like so many tutorials as well. But that's just kind of, I want to give you like the basic, because there's so much we can fit into this training. So that's just TikTok alone.
That's awesome on TikTok, Jelena. I think, a win for us tonight is like, hey, let's get on the platform and put a video up. Let's have a day one, right? Let's start somewhere. Jelena, do you remember this? I had to show, I think I was showing, who was it? It was Sadie or Lorraine, I forget. I was showing them some of my day one YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Like, we're talking like 12 years ago, 15 years ago, first day one videos. So we all have a day one, guys. I think if you can get on the platform, tonight, tomorrow, and get, look, Jelena's recommending 15 to 60-second videos, selfie videos. Doesn't have to be crazy, right? I can record myself for 15 seconds and give a tip, right? I can do that getting into my car.
Yeah, make sure you all don't drive and record.
Yes, good tip. Yes, no driving and recording. All right, keep it going, Jelena. This is great stuff.
Okay, cool. So let's move on. So now YouTube is obviously, I always say, so like my principle with content marketing is you got to have at least one social media platform where you can connect and communicate with your potential clients, with your audience, and then have another platform that grows everything else. It can be podcast, it can be blogging, it can be YouTube. So choose one and stick with it. I always say like, just choose whatever you're best with. For me, I never saw myself as a podcaster to begin with because my accent was way too rough, but then somebody challenged me to do blogging. I started with blogging. I was just comfortable with writing because that's literally what they taught me at high school. Just learn how to write essays and all that kind of stuff. And then I challenged myself to get into YouTube, and like Ron said, those first videos are literally the worst, and they're worse when English is not your native English, when English is not your native language. So I know y'all are gonna do great. So you have like one less barrier than I had. And YouTube is always great for long-term organic growth because every single piece of content you put out there is searchable. So I still have videos that I put out 5 years ago that are still getting views and traffic and subscribers, and people still find me. Like there's even one article. It was so funny. I was posting about it yesterday on my Facebook profile, and there's an article on my website. It looks so ugly, like so ugly. It's probably one of the worst I've ever put out. It was one of the lazy articles I did just because I was like on a challenge, like posting every single day articles. It's an article that has 13 quotes by Elon Musk, and Elon Musk's name right now is very popular. Like we hear about him pretty much every single day. So of course that post started getting picked up. So I'm getting some traffic through an article that I put out in 2016. So YouTube is pretty much the same thing, except it's a little bit easier to get attention. It's a little bit easier to rank for. And it's also, I would say, people still say, like, oh, there's so much competition. I would say there's not a whole lot of competition because not everybody's going to stick to YouTube for years. So you really got to have that skin in the game for YouTube. And I will give you the upside. So there's a new strategy for YouTube because a lot of times we believe that, oh, we have to, put out daily videos and they all have to be super long, 10, 20 minutes to get monetized and all that other crazy stuff that all the YouTubers talk about. Well, there is a new strategy that I have been using that literally gets you hundreds of views and more eyeballs on your content without more effort. So they are called YouTube Shorts. And the thing is, this how do I say that? This type of video is still in beta, so it's still kind of like in the testing phase, but it is 60 seconds and it's vertical. Now, the good thing for you, if you're going to be recording something for TikTok, right? It's going to be 30, 60, like up to 60 seconds. Vertical video, you take that TikTok video, you repurpose it to YouTube, and if it's less than 30 seconds, you repurpose it to Instagram. So that's basically the rule. Instagram Reels are 30 seconds, YouTube Shorts are 60 seconds, and TikTok is up to 60 seconds. So now the thing with this, again, you literally can knock out so many of these videos in a single day I mean, I batched. So there's a strategy that I'm using. It's called content batching. Basically, you sit down in 1 day or 2 days and you record however many videos you can. And I literally do my makeup in 1 day and I prepare 6, 8, 10 different shirts that I change in between. And I recorded, I'll tell you, like I was recording at the end of February for March, and I knocked out like 12 videos in 1 day. Now, 2 of them were long form pieces of content, and the rest, like 8 or 10, were YouTube shorts. So up to 60 seconds, and then there's not a whole lot of editing that you have to do. There's not a whole lot of fancy stuff that you have to add. In fact, you don't even have to add the thumbnail to those videos. I still do. So the thumbnail, like the first thing people see on YouTube, the image, uh, I still do just because I want my channel to look nice and I still want to have that cohesive, overall brand. But YouTube Shorts can go pretty freaking viral if you keep doing them. So that's just like another strat. And I will say this, like I said, it's easy to repurpose and people just don't use them. Like there's not a whole lot of people that are using them. And I always say if there is a strategy that not a whole lot of people are using, jump into it. Because the more people because marketers ruin everything. I think Gary Vaynerchuk said that. So that's why Instagram Reels were really hot in the beginning and they're still hot because, again, platforms love when you use their new features. They always, what's the word I'm looking for? They always reward creators for using those features. So, and YouTube Shorts to me just made sense because I've always wanted to publish more on YouTube, and I could just never publish, 3 long form videos per week because that's a lot of work and that's a lot of, effort and optimization and everything. YouTube Shorts basically have their own dedicated feed that you only see on mobile, and you're going to see it like you log into YouTube and you scroll probably for like once and you're going to see them. I believe they're already available in all countries. I mean, they're available in mine, so I'm pretty sure they're available everywhere. Now, the only downside is they don't bring you fast results, but I've had several of my shorts. Literally, one of them has been sitting for like 2 days or like 1 day. It got 600 views, and then the other one has been sitting in the I published it, and then 7 days it started getting picked up. So you never really know which piece of content is really going to take off and change your entire business. So that's kind of how you treat YouTube. You put every single piece of content out there. And I don't want to say you hope that it takes off because I don't feel like hope is a strategy, but you basically put your best foot forward and then one of them is always going to take off.
Yeah, I think that was well said, Angelina. And I want to point out one really hot tip that she gave. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but you noticed that she said that when she creates content, she does something called batch, creating content in batches or a batch strategy. I don't know about you, but sometimes life is crazy. I don't have the same schedule every single day, and things are, up in this all over the place. So I actually practice the same content. Like I recorded 4 videos today. So doing stuff in batches or batching it is highly effective because let's say your rhythm is, I want to do 1 or 2 YouTube videos a week, right? And email that out, post it. If you take, a Saturday or day off you have, and record 10, 20 videos, boom, you have content for, however long your rhythm is the next few months, right? So you can create a content marketing plan and ideas like in a weekend, right? And not only that, I'm sure Jelena will talk about this, but in YouTube, in Facebook, you can schedule this stuff too, right? So you can create all your content and then schedule it out as live premieres, as uploads. So you can really leverage yourself not only by having content out there that sticks in internet land, but also in the creating, in repurposing it by uploading the same piece of content to other platforms, Facebook, Instagram. So like she's so humble, but like she's giving you some straight fire marketing nuggets right now. Like if I didn't stop and point it out, I don't want us to just, go past this here, because she's giving you huge shortcuts and secrets to getting content marketing to really work for you. You know, some people say, I don't want to create content, or how's it going to work? And, oh, you know, it takes time and it doesn't bring fast results. Well, where are you going to be 2 years from now? Either way, 2 years is going to go by. Might as well create some content and get paid for it, right? Might as well make the world a better place, create some content, you know? So there's a reason she's training on all of this tonight, right? All right, Jelena, keep going.
Yeah, I like the fact that you mentioned, because it was literally in my head, like you can schedule your YouTube content, and that saves so much time if you just record 1 week. And then, I mean, the maximum that I've personally scheduled has been a week, and there was a week on my YouTube channel, I want to say it was last month. I just like went ham and I published, I think, 6 or 7 videos in 1 week. But I just had like so much content that I batched before that I didn't want it, you know, to wait until 2 months. So, yeah, so like, but if you schedule, for example, like my YouTube schedule is on Monday, I post a YouTube short. On Wednesday, I post a long form piece of content. On Friday, I post another YouTube short. And then sometimes I would also post something on Sunday. If I have like a tutorial or something else like in my arsenal, something like extra on top of my original content schedule, then I would also do that. But literally last week I sat down on Monday. It took me, I want to say, probably 2 hours, and that includes optimizing for keywords, optimizing the entire video, you know, adding all the extra stuff that you add to YouTube videos, the thumbnail, you know, the titles and everything, and scheduling. 3 videos took me about 2 to 3 hours. And what I do, and I want to give you this big tip that really helps me out when it comes to just sitting down and focusing, because I know a lot of people struggle with ADD or ADHD, and I get so easily distracted a lot of the times, even when I'm working from home. I literally put a timer on myself, and I timed myself how long it takes me to, you know, prepare and schedule a YouTube short. It took me about 30 minutes, because for a YouTube short, you don't have to add the end screens and you don't have to add the cards inside the video. So that's kind of something you do for long-term pieces of content on YouTube. You'll see it in the settings, and I'm sure, you know, Ron probably has like some other trainings for y'all. But YouTube Shorts, all I do, description, tags, you know, title, and then a thumbnail and a good title, obviously. So,
Jelena, I noticed that you have a really good mix of different kinds of content. You just kind of rattled off, Monday I do this, Wednesday I do that. Those were a bunch of different ideas. How do you plan your content and choose like what you're going to say?
yeah, so I would recommend for y'all to either have a Trello board. I recently switched to a tool called ClickUp, so I'm gonna have like a tool kit at the end with like all the tools you're basically gonna be using for content. So I generally use, because I have a video editor that helps me with kind of managing my YouTube channel. So obviously, when you have assistants, you need to keep everybody on top of the deadlines, and you kind of want to keep yourself on the deadlines too, because otherwise you just, you know, you're like, oh, I'm not going to post this week. It's fine. I'm going to pick up later. No, that's not how it works. You'll never pick up later. And then you're going to see 2 months go by and nothing is going to happen. And like Ron said, the time is still going to pass. You might as well do something productive about it. So I generally sit down and like I said, I use a ClickUp board that I have specifically for content for YouTube content that I use for myself and my video editor. And I put all the deadlines there. So I say to her like, hey, this is the board, and I already trained her. So choose whichever tool is best for you. If it's just you, one person, sometimes it may work on paper. Like I'm very much a paper person. I have it both, like I use like a passion planner where I plan every single day. I have, you know, whatever I have going on for every single day. So I see it in front of me. And then I have everything in like Google Calendar and, you know, ClickUp, like I said. And so I sit down, I first kind of brainstorm ideas, like what's going on. I also look at what's trending. Is there any new platform? You know, should I talk about Clubhouse? Should I talk about TikTok? Is there like a new feature on Instagram Reels? So, you know, I have my basically content buckets that I talk about, or content pillars. You may also know them as that. So I talk about, you know, social media, updates, you know, coaching, marketing, entrepreneurship, mindset. And I always look for what's really like what are people searching on YouTube that is going to lend them into my audience, right? That's like what's my ideal clients are looking for, not just regular people, not just like how to make a logo on Canva. Like I don't really care about that. I had a video like this planned, but I was like, I'm not gonna do that because that's not my ideal audience. So think about what are they searching for. Are they searching for how to grow on LinkedIn? Are they searching for, how to co-parent? I don't know. Are they searching for, how to declutter your home office, right? So no matter what your channel is about, there's always going to be searchable topics, and you want to see like what kind of content other creators are creating as well. So I always get a lot of inspiration from other channels. Now, I'm not always going to watch their videos because it is going to sometimes change your thinking, sometimes change your own strategies, and you're going to be like, oh, like that makes sense how they're doing this. So you not watching the content a lot of the times is actually going to force you to focus on your own lane instead of kind of copying their content. You know what I mean? So stick to your own lane, stick to your own opinion, see the topics, see what kind of keywords they're using, see what kind of description they have. And honest, that's how you learn. Like, I mean, when I first started, I'm gonna give you like the very first lesson that I learned as a 19-year-old when I first started in My Lead System Pro, and how I learned in the beginning when I couldn't invest any money into like anything. I basically went in there, I found the people that did what I wanted to do, and I dove into their world deep. I saw what kind of emails they sent out, and I studied everything they were doing. And then I modeled, if they had a specific type of thumbnail on a YouTube video, I was going to test it out for myself and see if it works, right? If they were using a specific email type, I was going to also go ahead and try it out, right? If there was a specific format, you always learn from what they do. Don't always learn from what people tell you to do, because a lot of the times people teach you something, and here's the big lesson, and it just came to my head. Do not just listen to what people tell you that they do right now that works, because a lot of the times we listen to 7 and 8 and 9-figure entrepreneurs and they tell you to do this, but that's not exactly what they did in the very beginning. Right. So the very beginning, what I did, I published YouTube daily. I published blog posts daily. I published social media posts daily. That's literally what I did all 2015, 16, 17, and pretty much up to this point. I just kind of tweaked the strategies, right? So I'm not going to teach you like what doesn't work, or I'm going to tell you what doesn't work anymore, but I'm still going to tell you like what works in the very beginning. You don't have to do all the fancy, ads, webinars, because a lot of times you look at, and I look sometimes at people, I'm like, dang, like they're running this, super amazing webinar. Maybe I should do this. But then I'm like, oh no, they have like 500,000 people in their audience. Let me focus on my own lane. Now,
So Jelena, this is so good. So like somebody asked earlier, how many videos should I put out there? Now, I know my answer is just basically as many as possible forever. But what's your take on it?
I'm kind of like on the same thing, as many as you can, but I would also say as many as you can manage every single week, like as many as you can stay consistent with. If you can stay consistent with one a week, or if you can stay consistent with 5 a week, go for it. But make sure you can sustain that.
So the key is really consistency.
Yeah, because there's really, I failed at consistency multiple times. There have been times when, heck, last year I went on a trip that lasted about 2.5 months. It was a safe trip, just for those of you worried about, virus and everything. And I kind of like, my YouTube channel kind of fell off. Like I wasn't consistent with it. I got into a hurricane, so I partially couldn't even post anything. I had no Wi-Fi. And then kind of like week after week, I was focused on something else. So that was not a good move on me personally. So yeah, I would say stick with something that you can stick consistently with, even if it's one video. Like one is better than nothing.
Yeah, that's what I recommend as well, is like at a minimum, you should be producing one piece of content a week. Like if you're going to be an online business owner, I don't think it's a lot for your audience to expect, or for you to expect of yourself. Let me share one thing a week that adds value to people and makes the world a better place. And by the way, it's probably going to attract leads and customers to me. So however you look at it, It's just win, 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 win. The thing with content marketing in general is that we don't have control over which pieces of content are necessarily going to take off and produce a bunch of leads and which aren't. But if you apply a lot of the strategies that we teach here at Christ Center Coaching that Jelena is teaching, it ensures some of the best practices to get your stuff seen and ranked and all that stuff. And one more thing I'll say. So Jelena, her sweet spot is marketing. She is an online marketer. Like, this is her world. Okay. So that's why she's training on this. You guys, we are coaches, right? That's our lane, not necessarily becoming an online marketing content expert person. So if you felt like, oh, I got to learn keywords and hashtag and algorithm and blah, 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 blah. No, you don't have to do that. Focus on being in your lane and being a great coach and learning the minimum that you need just to be able to put content out there. Okay. Jelena is an online marketing expert and a business coach. This is her lane. So this is like her being good at parenting, or, you know, her being good at deliverance ministry, or like whatever your lane is. Does that make sense, guys? Let me see a hand up if that makes sense in the chat. That takes some pressure off. Amen. Awesome. All right, Jelena, keep it going. You're killing it.
Yeah, that's a good point, Ron. If you feel like something is overwhelming or like some of the marketing is too much, like, you can always focus on your strengths and outsource the weaknesses. You know what I mean? If you don't know how to do something, there's always somebody who can help you out with that. So, I mean, think like an entrepreneur. You know, do you think Elon Musk sits there and produces all the cars? No, he doesn't. He always has the people for that. So that's ultimately where everybody's kind of going towards as a business owner. All right, so I feel like we're not even halfway through the slides. I really hope we are. So Instagram Reels, it's pretty much the same thing as, you know, TikTok videos, short videos. Their Instagram limit is 30 seconds, like I mentioned earlier. But they basically, if you really want to grow organically without investing any money on Instagram, any, you know, kind of influencer campaigns or advertising, Instagram Reels are really going to be the strategy. Now, I know there might be the question, how often should I be posting there? There's different kinds of opinions, but Instagram did roll out like a little article a couple of weeks ago that said that they do recommend posting 4 to 7 Instagram Reels per week. So that's just Reels, right? So that's not including the regular content. So, but if you think about it, if you record on TikTok, you basically take the same video, you put it up on Instagram, you just optimize it a little bit, you add some hashtags, you add, you know, a little bit of a description, you add, you know, your call to action where you want people to go. It doesn't take that much effort. So, but it does bring you huge results. So, and again, consistency, I keep saying this word, and like there's a book that I read ages ago, like back in 2015, that really kind of turned me towards consistency. The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. It's super good. The Slight Edge, Jeff Olson. So now the upside of the Instagram Reels is it's a visual platform, right? So that's why a lot of, you know, you will see a lot of photographers, a lot of artists, coaches thrive on Instagram, like thrive. Like you can attract a lot of your dream clients there. Whether you're a coach, service provider, it's great for e-commerce too. Like I know like we have coaches here. So it's definitely for you. And especially with Instagram being so focused on video between stories, Instagram Live, IGTV, Instagram Reels, you know, just regular 60-second videos that you can post, which I wouldn't really post them because we have Instagram Reels. But remember, 30 seconds. That's kind of all you guys. I do believe that there is going to be an update sometime soon because they will still want to compete with TikTok, because TikTok kind of started this whole madness with vertical videos. So, but for now, 30 seconds is all we got. So we got to squeeze in all the words as fast as we can. Now, again, like I said, easy to repurpose from TikTok and YouTube. Again, I always record within TikTok first. And then I take those videos because, first of all, the sounds are better. Like if you go into like, you know, all the, I don't know, like bells and whistles, TikTok is just an overall better platform than Instagram Reels. Instagram Reels, if I'm going to keep it real, they are pretty like they're glitchy still. The platform is kind of new, and the editing is not always as good compared to TikTok. Now, TikTok has all sorts of filters and all sorts of effects and more music selection. Some people don't even have music on Instagram Reels. So I would say record on TikTok and then repurpose it from there. So now the downside, you do have to be on the platform. You have to be engaging. You have to be communicating with people. You have to be building relationships, because a lot of the times people tell you, and other coaches will tell you, oh, just post content and people are going to come to you. Now, it is true, people will come when you put out your content and everything, but you have to be out there. You have to first go out there and find people. And I really don't like the fact that people don't say that. Like, I'm going to share with you some engagement strategies, where to go and find your people and all that good stuff, because people rarely talk about it. And it makes me mad, because I had to figure all this stuff out by myself, because content alone in the very beginning is not going to bring you a whole lot of traffic. And I'm managing like one client's account right now. We started literally like basically no followers. We had like 80 followers. And had I not been, engaging and putting his account out there, we wouldn't really grow, right? We wouldn't just grow with just content. So don't worry, like I will share with you some basic things, or where to go and how to find people, so we can dive into that. So let me know if there's any questions on the Instagram Reels.
So, Jelena, one question we have here is, what is an Instagram Reel?
Okay, so an Instagram Reel essentially is, if you go over to your Instagram account, so if you just go to the app itself, you're going to see in the very middle at the bottom, you're going to see like a little icon with like a play button. So that's basically the Instagram Reels feed. And essentially it's the same thing as TikTok, but just on the Instagram platform. So it's the same, you'll see different kinds of videos. And on Instagram, basically, you're going to see a dedicated feed to Instagram Reels. So again, they're up to 30 seconds. You can record them on TikTok. You can record them within Instagram. And the difference is the thing with the platforms. So platforms are always going to be fighting with each other, basically. Like, it doesn't really sound good, but they always are going to be competing with each other. So it all kind of started with, Snapchat. So Facebook couldn't buy Snapchat, so they created their own stories. They created stories on Facebook, stories on Instagram, right? Now, TikTok didn't go down like it was supposed to, according to all the sources last year. So it stayed. So Instagram decided, okay, so we want to keep people in our platform, because people spend way too much time on TikTok. They're not spending as much time on Facebook anymore. They're not spending as much time on Instagram anymore. Let us bring them back. So that's why Instagram Reels came around. So essentially it's the same thing as TikTok, just 30 seconds.
Awesome. That was a great answer. And I just love how I can do it. I can make a video on TikTok, and then I can put the same thing on Instagram and then on YouTube too. This is so cool. Thanks, Jelena.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, let's move. Now, you may be wondering, what about Facebook? Like, are we just leaving Facebook off? Absolutely not. Now, let me tell you something. Just from my personal opinion. Now, maybe, I don't know, like maybe your feed looks a little bit different, but in the last year, Facebook feed has gotten very politicized. So if you see way too much stuff that you don't want to see, like, honestly, when I get on Facebook, I don't want to see coronavirus. Like, I see it everywhere already. I don't want to see politics. I want to see, some positive, uplifting content. I want to see something that's going to make my life better in one way or the other. So what I do is, if there's a person that keeps posting something, but it would be rude to unfriend them, you can either go take a break from them for 30 days. Literally, you click on like, I think it's 3 dots on the mobile. I don't know if it's on desktop. You can take a break for 30 days. You're not going to see any of their content, or you can just unfollow them. So keep your feed clean and keep your mind clean, because seeing a lot of negativity does affect you for sure. So that's kind of where I've been, like, I've had kind of a love and hate relationship with Facebook last year because of that. But I will say this, if you want clients now or like yesterday, go into niche Facebook groups. I personally do not enjoy scrolling through my Facebook feed as much as I enjoy scrolling the Facebook group feed. And I love the fact that Facebook does have that feed right now, because you can join targeted groups that have your people, that have your, ideal audience, and just hang out in groups. Forget about the news feed. I mean, the only reason why you will not want to forget about the news feed is once you start adding people, and your feed is eventually going to change. But I would really be like all over the Facebook groups and engaging, being active, answering questions, helping people out, publishing your own content. That's really what changed the game for me in the very beginning, is publishing in other people's communities, as long as it's allowed, right? Because there's some Facebook groups that are not going to allow you. So you got to be careful with what you post, where you post, and how you post, and what kind of language you use as well. Because in this day and age, there's people that are offended by everything. So we got to watch our mouths. You know what I mean? But again, niche Facebook groups is really where it's at, in my opinion. And when you post yourself, and I mean, I don't mean pitch fest, I mean valuable content. Heck, you know what you can do? So you can take your TikTok. Let's say if you share 3 tips to co-parenting, you can take the same TikTok, turn it into a text post for Facebook, publish it on your own feed, publish it in Facebook groups. And I mean, when you lead with value, you're always going to attract your dream clients. So again, Facebook, I would solely focus on groups, and that's kind of where I've been with, with Facebook. Now, as far as business pages, like I'm not sure if Ron is teaching more on that. I'm no expert, and I will say, unless you have a big budget for the ads, they're pretty useless. Like I have not posted anything on my business page in probably over a year, maybe like 6 months. I don't know. But I'm not the expert at the ads. Like I'm very much organic. Let's grow in the profile. Let's go into groups. Let's talk to some people. Once you're ready to move into the paid advertising and drive some ads, then I mean, according to the latest news that I heard, if you post like at least once a week or 3 times per week on your business page, that's going to be enough. Now, don't ask me what kind of content to post, because they just revamped the whole thing. Like I think like the whole business page section changed. So that's kind of where it's at right now. Now, and I do believe, that's just my personal opinion. I don't know, maybe Ron is going to teach something different, but I do feel like gone are the days of $5 a day ads. And it depends on your niche, it depends on your industry, but generally the coaching industry is a little bit more expensive than $5 a day ads. So that's just kind of from my, perspective and experience. So you do want to set aside like a little bit of a bigger budget for ads. Is there any questions so far?
I have a few questions.
Yeah, go for it.
I started on Instagram a few months ago, and I was getting some really good traction. And then I thought I would hire a Fiverr to grow my following. And he didn't ask me what kind of people I wanted to follow me, and he started just randomly connecting me with all these random people. And so I don't know, I should have left it alone, but I went in and I unfollowed them, and it seemed like it completely stopped any kind of engagement, or nobody was seeing me anymore. Is that, and I read something about that Instagram will kind of shut you down if you follow a bunch of people and then you shortly after that unfollow them. Is there any remedy for that?
Okay, so yeah, like there is such a thing called like shadow ban on Instagram if you like break the rules or like don't follow the rules or whatnot. Now, first of all, like for everybody, do not ever go to Fiverr and have somebody buy you followers or follow a whole bunch of random people. I've had it on my account. Like, I cleaned out my Instagram account of 11,000 followers down to like less than 2,000. They weren't bought followers. I didn't buy them, but it's just been like, I built that following in 2014. So a lot of people have not been even active there. But how do you recover that account? So first of all, I would say definitely do a cleanup. That's number one. And then there has been a remedy. Now, again, like you have to test it out and see how that works. Somebody said like even delete an Instagram app from your phone and just basically set a timer for like 7 days and just don't do anything on Instagram. Don't log in from desktop, don't log in from phone, nothing, just give it like a 7-day break, just so you don't even like show up. And then after that, start getting in there slowly, and definitely, follow different hashtags, follow different people, not a lot of people, but like ease into the platform. You have to basically train the platform who gets to see your content. You get to train the platform what kind of content is going to get pushed out to who. Because the way social media platforms work, basically the robots right now are smarter than us, so we gotta let them do the work a lot of the times. So yeah, you kind of have to give your account like a little bit of a break.
Well said, Jelena. Thank you.
And I have one more quick question. You said to look and see what people are searching for, like what kind of keywords and things people or topics people. How do you do that? How do you know what people are searching for?
Okay, so there's a couple of ways to do that. So, and you can see like that's like a deep keyword research question. So there's a few tools that I'm using. So number one is called Keywords Everywhere. That's a Google Chrome extension, Keywords Everywhere. I think you can pay like $10. I think that's what I paid like a couple of weeks ago. And when you search something into YouTube or Amazon or Google, it's going to show you how many searches per month that keywords gets, and it's going to give you a whole list of related keywords. So that's number one. Now, number two is I use Tubebuddy, tubebuddy.com for YouTube. So it kind of gives you like a more detailed view. You can start with their free option, and then I believe they give you like a discount if you have less than 1,000 subscribers. So I don't know, it's like $20 or $50 a year or something like that. And they give you kind of more detailed YouTube look, and they give you like different trends and all kinds of different things. But Keywords Everywhere is definitely a good start.
Okay, well, can you spell that second one that you
Second
mentioned?
one, yeah, Tubebuddy, Tube, and then Buddy.
Gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Those are the same tools I use myself, Keywords Everywhere and Tubebuddy. And they'll work, some of them work on YouTube and on just the Google.com, the search feature as well.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Adrian.
Can we go back to Facebook? Just a question. I just need some clarity. Were you saying that it's not beneficial to focus on a business page in Facebook to, get your business out there?
Yeah, I mean, I believe if you're not going to put some, let me put it this way. Facebook business page, and again, maybe Ron has a different belief, but my belief, just from experience running ads, I think, Ron, we taught ads from stage once, right? Back in like 2017.
Mm-hmm.
It's always best to run ads when you run a business page. Business page is basically the platform pay-to-play kind of environment.
Yeah, I would agree with Jelena. The only thing that I use my Facebook business page for is to run ads. That's it. Like I don't even post on it anymore. The only thing I use it for is ads. What Facebook is favoring the most right now is groups, and inside of groups, live video. So going live inside of other people's group, if the rules are cool with that, that's where it's at right now in terms of free organic content. And I'll say that about all this stuff that Jelena taught tonight. Everything that she taught to get clients and get leads and build your following, this is all 100% free. How cool is that? Right? Like, yeah, it does take time, but it's also 100% free. So, I suggest doing two strategies, right? Having a paid marketing strategy and a passive content marketing strategy as well. I also agree with Jelena. The days of $5 ads are really over. Like the Facebook platform is much more mature now. For example, for my business, for Christ-centered coaching, I know that it costs me somewhere between $8 to $12 per lead per person per email address on Facebook. And those numbers work for me because you know what you're selling on the back end. But if a lead costs me 10, 12 bucks, you know, I got to wait 3 days, maybe longer, just to get that one lead. And that's no way to grow a business, you know.
Can I ask another question?
Absolutely.
or get some more clarity?
Sure.
So yeah, just out of pure ignorance, I guess.
You're cool.
I just made the I just did the business page thinking that that's what I should do. No one advised it. I don't run ads or anything, but that's primarily where I've been posting all of my videos and things like that. So you would recommend that I just do my business on a regular Facebook page, just shut that down and go on a regular Facebook page?
I'll answer this and I'll let Jelena give her take too. I would not shut down your business page. It's good to have. It's an asset. Like it can only be a good thing for you to have. It's just that the strategy for it is really for paid advertising. For organic stuff, it's better to use your personal profile and groups and Facebook Lives, that kind of thing. What are your thoughts, Jelena?
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like even the big advertisers, somebody that I follow, I've been following for ages, has been Amy Porterfield, who has been big into, course creation, Facebook advertising, list building, all things basically marketing. She used to post a lot on her business page, and now you will barely ever see her post. She's a lot more active in her free Facebook group, hence, I mean, she started her Facebook group after having, she has like a multi-8-figure business or whatnot. So, and one other thing that I will say is sometimes you got to pay attention to what Facebook is pushing on you. And what I mean by that is your feed at the bottom, like when you go into your phone, not the feed, like the little menu that you see at the bottom on your personal profile, you see like the homepage, then you see the little like marketplace, people selling all kinds of stuff, then you see the Facebook groups. Now then I see their dating option that they're pushing on you, even though, like I said multiple times, I'm not interested. And then you see notifications. So Facebook group feed is there for a reason because it used to not be there. So they are definitely pushing the Facebook groups. And I know some people that are actually running Facebook ads to their Facebook groups to grow that.
Yeah, that's actually one of the strategies that we do when we run challenges, is we'll run ads directly to the group as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, great question, Adrian.
All right, let's move on. Okay, so we talked a lot about video, so we're going to talk about it some more. So this actually link is clickable. So like I mentioned, the little freebie that I have with over 300 video ideas that you can use for TikToks. They're pretty much applicable to any kind of niche whatsoever, especially to coaches, since that's kind of the audience we have today, right? I already told you this tip, scroll through your For You page on TikTok and Instagram Reels feed just to get ideas and notice the trends. And one thing that I do on TikTok is if you tap the video and you like hold it, like you hold your finger on the screen, you can save the video to favorites and you can always go back to it and recreate it. So that's just kind of what I do for my little like swipe folder when I scroll through the feed and I'm like, oh, okay, that's a good idea. I can record it on my batching day. You know what I mean? And then I would just go back to this video, rewatch it again. And again, it doesn't take that long to rewatch it. And yeah, that's kind of what I do. And then Instagram Reels, the same thing. On Instagram, you can save. There's like a little, I think it's like, I don't know how to call that little thing. It's like a little square that's kind of cut out with a triangle at the bottom. You know what I'm talking about? You can save it to a little folder and then go back to it as well. And then I already talked about this as well, batch record. You can literally, if you post just a video a day on TikTok, you can record it all in one day, maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days. If you record, 2 videos in a day. But if you're a woman and you put makeup on, I definitely suggest doing as many as you can so you don't have to mess with the makeup every day. Again, I record on TikTok. It's just easier, better capabilities overall. Very rarely would I use a camera. So I have a client who recently told me that he got a new camera and that's why he's been procrastinating on recording videos. And I was like, dude, you use your phone, like don't overcomplicate, like we don't have to make it all fancy, like all these gurus and whatnot. And sometimes if you see something on Instagram Reels, you can record from there just to kind of give it a go. I will give you a warning. So Instagram Reels is not the safest platform to record because you can save a draft. Now here's the thing, when, like, I know this may be like a newer thing, like I know all you are new to TikTok. On TikTok, when you record within TikTok, you can save it as a draft and it just sits there. And then you go back to the video, you edit, you add everything, right? And then you post. You don't have to record and post right away. That's not a Facebook Live, right? So now the TikTok drafts are very safe. Like you'll never lose them. Like at least I never have. Instagram Reels, I lost some drafts and I was kind of mad, but it was only like, a handful of them. When I upgraded my phone this like last year, I definitely lost like 5 or 10 videos. So just be mindful, definitely be mindful. Now that's why I record on TikTok, because Instagram Reels is still kind of like a baby platform when it comes to videos. So just something to keep in mind. Again, remember the time limit. TikTok, 60 seconds, Instagram Reels, 30 seconds, YouTube Shorts, 60 seconds. Now, do they always have to be all the way up to the limit? Not really. Like some videos you're going to see on TikTok, they're going to be 5 seconds. Some are going to be 7 seconds. Sometimes the shorter the video, the better, because it's going to get watched over and over and over again, and you're going to, basically get more exposure. So that's really all you need to remember as far as, the newer type of video that everybody's watching. Now, let me show you some examples. So this is, if I go and search, I did a search and that's kind of what I saw on TikTok. If you type in any keyword, you're going to see all sorts of videos about your particular niche, right? So that wasn't even a hashtag. I just typed in marketing and that's kind of what showed up. Now I can go through all these top videos. I can go into the videos, I can go into the hashtags, and I can go into the users, right? So you can kind of see like little text over here. And then I can just keep scrolling and seeing, what are all these people posting, right? Now, jewelry. So if you, I don't know, like if you're creating jewelry, like I was showing this example to one of my students who has a jewelry store. I was like, hey, you have no excuses not to, run some videos for your e-commerce store. So it works for any niche. So when people tell me, oh, it's just for kids, no, it's not. People literally build massive businesses, and I've seen so many e-commerce stores take off. It's crazy. Like it would have never happened prior to TikTok, or it would have taken 10 years. And then another one, social media. Now you can type in health, you can type fitness, you can type parenting. Just type like a very broad keyword to your industry, and you'll find a lot of ideas, like loads. I don't know, any questions so far?
I think this is awesome. So what I'm kind of hearing you say is that you're looking for your topics or keywords, and then you're kind of looking at what are the top users doing, like what is my competition basically doing, and trying to notice patterns and trends that you can also kind of piggyback on.
Yeah, so I'm always looking for, so this is just the top feed, right? We can also go into videos, you can go into hashtags, and you're going to see all sorts of other videos. But I always want to see what like the top people in my particular keyword are doing, like who has the most audience, and is there even a market for me? Because that's how you kind of test the waters. People say, oh, I'm so afraid of the competition. Competition is nothing. Like if there's competition, it just means there's a market for you and you got to go after it. You know what I mean? So yes, I go into top videos, and then you kind of end up being in a little bit of a rabbit hole, but it's obviously for research purposes. So I say it's a time well spent, because that's the thing, like a lot of people, the reason people struggle with content, the reason people struggle with marketing just in general is because they're lazy with the research. And so do not be lazy with the research, because that's really going to be the most productive time you'll spend, because you'll like an hour on TikTok is probably going to give you like 30 content ideas.
Awesome. So one of the things, it seems like your antenna is just like up all the time in terms of like, looking for content ideas and stuff that you can, talk about or create that. Where are you getting all of your content ideas? Is it from this research time you do?
Oh, like we can be here for like the next 5 hours and I talk about all of that.
Give me the Cliff Notes version.
Okay, so the cliff notes, I always get inspiration from other creators, so I feel like that's always the first. But I've always, there's one. I don't know if it's where I learned this, or if it's just something that I don't know, came up with. But I feel like when you dive into your industry, when you like go all in on your coaching or whatnot, on your business in the first place, you got to become content conscious, right? So, and when I learned this concept, or when I became aware of that, I was like, content is really everywhere. If you think about when you watch a movie, a lot of the times you would get an idea from a movie. A lot of the times, I'd pull out a book and I would see one sentence piece of content. I had a conversation today with a friend of mine. She said something and I was like, oh, that's a really good piece of content. I was like, I really should talk about it. So she would share either an objection, or some sort of tip, or I mean, sometimes I get ideas just from, a lot of the times you will get the best ideas from your audience. Like a lot of times you don't even have to come up with your content, because you're going to be communicating with people, you're going to be engaging with people. Your clients will dictate your content, because that's ultimately what they're searching for. You're not creating content for yourself, you're creating content for other people. I mean, I don't have to, sit there and batch all those videos for myself and put the makeup on. I would much rather, sit and, I don't know, watch Netflix or draw something or whatever, right? So I'm creating this for my audience. So the best content is going to be given to you basically on a silver platter by your audience.
That's awesome. And that's a really good point. A lot of times, that's what I was doing two nights ago. I was coming up with content ideas, and how I was going about it, similar to Jelena, is I was just searching stuff I thought my audience would search in YouTube. And then I'm finding related videos that I'm like, oh, that's a great topic. I can teach on that. I can do a take on that. So you're looking at other influencers, other coaches, people who are in your space, and drawing inspiration and creativity from what you're seeing. There's already views for, there's already a demand for. If something has a ton of views already, it's not, oh, they did it already, too much competition. No, it means people want that stuff. It means that it's relevant because there's views, because there's engagement there. So you can grab from that same stuff too. Just because one person has, a piece of content like how to use Facebook for coaching, doesn't mean I can't make one or you can't make one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like it's also, and I used to think that way back when I was first starting out. I was like, oh man, like this is already taken. I can't do this kind of topic, or I can't, create this video because it's already done. I mean, heck no, like that, just because it's done doesn't mean you cannot do that. Like that's the scarcity mentality, and you thinking you got to flip that, and you got to think more of an abundance, because there's plenty for everybody. I mean, do you know how many people are born every single day? Do you know how many people turn 18 that can start a business and potentially become your clients every single day? And I got this example from like the network marketing days. Hey, somebody else is always turning 18 every year. There's plenty. Heck, we have almost 8 billion people on the planet. There's plenty for everybody.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think like I forget, it's either 80 something thousand or 180 something thousand people for every one coach right now.
I mean, how many clients do you really need to hit your income goals?
Exactly. Not that many. All right, let's see if there's any other questions. Real quick before I let Jelena go, because I know it's mad late over there. All right, any last questions, guys? Feel free to unmute or throw something in the chat before we let Jelena go for the night. I know she's probably tired.
I mean, there's a couple of things that I still have, so if y'all want like some engagement strategies or that, I know there was like.
Oh yeah, keep it going. I thought you were done for some reason. We want more.
No. I just didn't want to like get all the questions at the end. I was like, let's just kind of like do it in phases. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm stoked because I thought you were done, and there's more, and that's like when you get to the bottom of the box of cookies and there's still more cookies. So
yeah, there's still some more. Okay, so this is the fun part, and this is kind of like one thing that I said that a lot of coaches just hold back, like they don't teach any of this, or they teach you and then nobody's really doing that. So they're like, okay, maybe I should really be teaching that. So the like content is such a huge role that's going to play like in your overall business. But in the beginning, you know, I think like the biggest roadblocks that people have is, oh, nobody's watching my content. I only have, you know, 2 people watching my video. Hey, that's actually a good thing, because in the beginning, like, we all suck. So it's actually good that you get to practice in the beginning. So if only 2 people are watching, it's not that embarrassing. You know what I mean? So now I was embarrassed because one of my very first YouTube videos was watched by like 100 people or 120, and I feel sorry for every single one of them. Like, I would really love to apologize. But in the beginning, you gotta go out there and engage. Like, you gotta go out there and network. That's why I always say you can't just rely on viral marketing. You can't just rely on, oh, you know, let me focus on attraction marketing and all the clients are gonna come to me. Like, they will, but you also have to put yourself out there, because if you don't, I mean, I will, and they'll come to me. You know what I mean? So, or they come to Ron, or, you know, whoever else. So if you don't get engagement, that's like one of the things that I always get from people. Nobody's engaging on my posts, nobody's liking any of my content. I mean, I'm not going to say it's because your content sucks. I mean, sometimes that's the case, and I know for a fact that, I mean, I'm guilty of that too. Sometimes you just post content, it's not really that good. Maybe you were tired, maybe you just posted it because you wanted to post something today, but you didn't really feel like it. But generally, it's because you don't get engaged, you don't engage back with people. So you're really going to go out there and first engage with people, put yourself out there, and show that you actually exist. Because in the beginning, it's lonely. You're just there, it's just you and your computer, you don't know anybody. And trust me, I know it firsthand, because when I started at the age of 18 in network marketing and I jumped into Facebook, like close when I was like 19, I did not know anybody. Nobody. And I was like, how am I going to? And the only people that ever saw my first pieces of content were my high school friends. They were all Russians. They made fun of me. They trolled my Facebook ads at some point. Like, I had to block them. My teachers, I mean, right, some of my teachers are, you know, watching my content right now, and I mean, all that kind of stuff, and like liking it or whatnot. But that's not my target audience. So I knew early on I have to figure something out. Otherwise, I'm going to have to get in debt going to college, which I, you know, didn't go to college. The thing is, you will hear gurus if you go deeper into marketing, you go like deeper into, you know, keyword research and content and social media. Algorithm doesn't really change that much. Like, people will tell you that it changes. It really doesn't. Like, you still have to be creating great content. You still have to go engage with people. Now, you may be saying, oh, but this guy doesn't need to do that. Yeah, because he has 1 million followers. Like, he doesn't have the time to engage with everybody. He already has a team, you know what I'm saying, that does all of that for him. So don't compare your, you know, chapter 1 or 2 to somebody else's chapter 1,000. So you still gotta, you know, go out there and engage. So I would say, depending on the platform, so TikTok is one of those kind of platforms where you don't necessarily need to engage. The only reason that I would is because you can tailor your For You page to where it's going to actually show you what you want to see, not what TikTok wants you to see. You know what I mean? So, but on a platform like Facebook or Instagram, I would spend at least 30 to, and that's like the bare minimum where you go in like very part-time. The more the merrier, obviously. If you spend, you know, 2 hours actually talking to your dream clients, chances are you're likely going to sign a client. You know what I mean? So now the places, so here I'm kind of like covering more Instagram. On Facebook, the primary way is Facebook groups, because people are there because they already told you, I'm interested in life coaching, right? Life coaches, or, you know, whatever Facebook group you're going to go after. On Instagram, there's no Facebook groups. There's hashtags, there's locations, there's leaders, your posts. So obviously the most engaged people, the warmest prospects that you're going to have are going to be watching your stories, engaging on your content, commenting on your content, sending you messages. Now, in the beginning, I know what you might be saying, Jay, but I don't have anybody, nobody's following me. That's why we're gonna go out there and find those people in the beginning, so then Instagram can recommend more people to you. Now, the same thing with TikTok. Like, the more you train the platform, the more you use, you know, the right keywords, the more you use, you know, the right hashtags, it's going to send the right people to your content. Because the way social platforms work, you know, on TikTok, for example, how do you think the video goes viral? So TikTok shows your video to like a pool of 200 people in the beginning. If they bite, if they engage on it, and they maybe leave a comment, maybe share, they're going to show it to another pool of people, let's say to 1,000 people. And they're going to be like, okay, so let's see if these people bite. And then if they bite, it's going to like grow like a big snowball. Same thing goes with Instagram, same thing goes with YouTube, same thing goes with every platform. Now, Facebook is not the platform that I would say you would go viral. It's more like to build a community, nurture community. Mostly like I use Facebook for Messenger, you know what I mean? Kind of share some lifestyle and whatnot, and Facebook groups, obviously. And you know, people use it for the ads. Now, Instagram, those are the five places: hashtags, locations, leaders that your ideal audience is following, your posts, and then your messages. And trust me, like in 2021, it's so much easier to start a conversation with somebody because of the stories. Facebook stories and Instagram stories. Like we used to send back in 2015, I still remember I used to send copy and paste messages to people, and I used to say, hey, how's it going? Like that's, I mean, I sometimes will send that, but a lot of the times if the person is using stories, I will consistently engage with them through the stories, through their stories. Now, without being a creep, without being a weirdo, without like being like overly too much and kind of like looking obsessive, you know what I mean? But being like natural watching stories, checking out what's going on, reacting to some of their stories, just kind of reminding about your existence. Basically, that's kind of what social media is really about, is making sure that you stay on top of the people's minds, because everybody's fighting for attention. Everybody. That's really the name of the game. Now, here are some hacks. So don't just scroll through social media and like a bunch of things. Nobody's going to notice you. Make sure that you reply with a comment. So the best way to get noticed, because that's really what a lot of people just don't do. You know, you will see somebody's post on Instagram or Facebook, they'll have 100 or 1,000 likes, and then they're going to have 2 comments or 10 comments or maybe like 50. So that's only 50 people that are actually proactive on social media. So you have a really high chance to get noticed with that. So not only just by the creator with whom you're, you know, commenting on, but also by the other people who are potentially going to see your, you know, your comments. Now, this is a hack specifically for engagement on Instagram. If you're going to be posting, before you put out your next post, whether it's Instagram Reel, IGTV, whatever that is, go back to your previous post or posts, like multiple posts, plural, and like all the comments and reply if you forgot to reply to some of them. What it does is it sends a notification to people like, hey, so-and-so person liked your comments. So-and-so, you know, replied to you. So chances are they're going to go check you out. Now, they're not always going to go check you out, but they're going to go and see your profile and be like, oh, like she has a new post. What is it about? Right? So it just sends, again, like a signal, hey, she's active on the platform right now. It's still going to be fine if they check it out like an hour or later, but you're still going to be on top of their feeds. So the other thing that I do for Instagram, and I've kind of done the same thing for Facebook for ages as well, except it was like not 30 minutes, it was 15 minutes. So before I post anything on Facebook, I go spend 15 minutes engaging in the feed, and I kind of do the same thing on Instagram. Now, do you have to spend exactly 30 minutes? Do whatever works best for you. So I recommend, you know, 15 to 30 minutes, but you do want to basically tell Instagram and tell Facebook, hey, I'm an active user and I'm here to stay. So you got to give me some love too. You know what I mean? That's kind of how you treat the platforms. When they see that you're active, when they see that you use all their features, or at least a lot of them, they will favor your account and you will resurrect your account, even if it's been kind of like Amy shared, you know, it was kind of like not in the place where it was, you know, was supposed to be. Now, the same thing, like after you do a post, make sure that you don't just post and be like, okay, I'm out. Make sure you spend like the next 15 to 30 minutes engaging with the people that engage on the post, because the way social media works, they give you a little bit of, you know, eyeballs. Some of those eyeballs, leave a comment, make sure you reply, so you double that engagement. So you tell Instagram, hey, I'm active, I'm right over here. If people comment, I'm going to go ahead and reply. And the more engagement your post has, the further it's going to go in the feed, right? the further it's gonna, like, the more reach you're gonna get through the hashtags, the more reach you're gonna get like in the overall feed. Because remember, when you use like the hashtags on Instagram, now on Facebook, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares about the hashtags on Facebook. On Instagram, people do. Like, I did a post on Saturday. I reached 2,000 people just through the hashtags. Like, I have less than 2,000 followers. There's no way I would be able to reach more people. The thing with Instagram, a lot of people just follow the hashtags because they want to see the posts that are going to be popping up in them. So I'm sure a lot of those people actually saw the post in their feed because they follow the specific hashtag that I used in my post. Now, I know this may be like a mouthful. There's like a lot of information. That's really like, and I'm sure you guys are more familiar with the Instagram than, you know, something like TikTok that's like very new. Now, the same thing, I always say, before you publish a piece of content, be very active on the platform. So really dedicate a little bit of time, like 15 minutes before, 15 minutes after, like at least 30 minutes. Because if you're gonna say, oh, I'm too busy, I'm too that, at least spend the time around your posts being active. Like, you don't have to be on social media 24/7. Like, nobody's got the time for that. Reply to messages as well. Like, don't abandon those. I mean, I make this mistake sometimes. Like, I get caught up or I just forget about them or whatnot. But definitely reply to them. And I would say on Instagram specifically, post on stories consistently. Now, Instagram recommends like 2 stories per day. I would say post more often, like throughout the day. So Instagram pushes you back up to the feed. So people see that you have like a little circle, you know, around your Instagram profile photo. So post something throughout the day. You know, I do share stories behind the scenes. I share some tips. I share, if I ever travel somewhere, you know, I share that there too. I reshare my post from my feed into the Instagram story while it's available. I thought they were going to take that feature away, but you can just click on a little like airplane or triangle, you know, whatever you want to call it, and share the story to your, share the post to your story. So that's just something I do. Now, here's a hack that you can do if you really want to go and like reach a lot more people and get noticed as well. So there's a hack that I've been using, and it's not necessarily a hack, it's just like a little strategy. Find, you know, 5 leaders, maybe 10 leaders in your feed that in your industry that have a lot of followers. And I would say a lot of followers, probably more than 20, I would say more than 25,000. Maybe somebody who has like 100,000 followers, somebody who has like a really high engagement, that has a lot of people that you would like to attract. Turn on notifications for their posts, and every single time they post, as long as it's not 10 times a day, hopefully, you will get notified. And if you are the first person to comment, you're going to be noticed. Like, how many times have you gone into a post on Instagram and you've seen a comment that was like maybe pinned at the top? I know it's pinned at the top is like a new feature, or a comment that had like 1,000 likes or 50 likes or 100 likes. Now, the first, you know, they say that the early bird gets the worm. That's kind of the same thing. If you're one of the first people to leave a comment, to leave that meaningful piece of engagement, not just like cool pic, you know, looking nice. No, leave something meaningful. Actually read the post or skim through the post. Leave your own opinion. Don't try to disagree with people. That's just one, I feel like, one rule of social media. Don't just like argue with people, because who's got the time for that? Say something nice, right? Give a compliment, state your opinion, maybe share something like a piece of your story, something you relate to. I mean, I've had this hack really works well because people will see your content, your content comment, people will interact with you. And then something else that I do as well, as far as engagement, as far as like finding new audiences, because here's the thing, when people tell me, where's the traffic, where's all the people, everybody's already there. There's already communities. That's why there's Facebook groups. That's why I tell you, go post in Facebook groups, because there's already audiences. And like people say, oh, like, is it stealing other people's audience? I mean, if that's your belief, like, you got to fix that. You know what I mean? We're not stealing anybody. Like, nobody belongs to anybody. So if you do it in an ethical way with a good heart, then that's going to be a valid strategy. You know what I mean? And the same thing with Instagram. Something I do every now and then, I would say at least a couple times a week. I would go to an account like Grant Cardone or Amy Porterfield or Gary Vaynerchuk or anybody who has a really big audience and not enough time to reply to every comment, people ask valid questions under huge influencers and they never get those questions answered. You got to step up and be that person who's going to go out and help them. Now, is it time consuming? I mean, it sure is, but is your business worth spending a little bit of time to go find the people that are going to, potentially become your next clients, or at least just help somebody? I have this one rule that I've been following for ages: help at least one person a day. Like, it doesn't matter whether they're going to buy something from you, whether it's, I don't know, in business. I mean, I generally kind of apply it to business, or, like if I talk to people online or whatnot, help them out. Don't expect anything in return. It's going to pay you 10 times forward in the future, a year from now, 5 years from now. But I always believe that what you give away, you get to keep. I think Dan Hockman was who I first heard it from, but the energy you put out is going to be the energy that you're going to get back. If you're not giving anything back, you're not going to get anything back. So that's kind of the whole rule, with engagement on social media. You got to give it first before you get it. So when people tell me I don't get no engagement, I'm like, because you're not giving anything. So you're just trying to post something just to get something. And that's not how it works. So yeah, like, any questions about engagement so far?
These are great. These are great tips. I think I saw one or two. Let me look here. Ooh, testimonial. Pastor Joseph Pedrosa started TikTok 3 weeks ago, and he says he's got 200 followers already. So very engaging. So pretty cool. Definitely worth it. Let's see. I don't think I'm seeing any. Oh, is there a place where you can see what hashtags are trending?
Not necessarily trending. I don't think that you should be using trending hashtags. It's more about using the hashtags that are relevant, to your post, to your content. Because there are banned hashtags. You know what I mean? There are hashtags like laugh or follow for follow. You don't want to use none of that. You want to use the hashtags that are your audience using, and you want to use the hashtags that are really, like, especially relevant to your post. Because if you post something about dog food and you type a hashtag, cat food, that's not going to be relevant.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm. Cool. Joey Basta asked, are hashtags popular on Facebook again?
No, not really.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Jane asked, can we get a link or some instructions on how to join TikTok? Yeah, for sure. It's pretty straightforward. I would go to the App Store on your phone and just type in TikTok, and you'll follow the steps that pop up in the app, and it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, I think I got a video right here. I'll drop in the comment here for you. But all I do is how to create a TikTok account. Bam. All right, what else you got, Selena?
Yeah, let's see. We got like a couple of things. So a few other types of content. I'm just gonna like run through these real quick, just like what performs well on Instagram specifically. And you might have seen this a lot. And if you follow any meme accounts or any like popular accounts on Instagram, a lot of them are just a bunch of tweets. And there's a joke that I saw on Twitter or on Instagram like a couple months ago that said Instagram is really about 2 to 3 business days late to Twitter. And a friend of mine sometimes would send me something on Instagram, and I'm like, I already saw it on Twitter like 2 days ago. Like, that's old news already. So people do repost tweets a lot, literally screenshots of tweets. So I'm not even using Twitter a whole lot for my business. I'm just kind of there to check out on some news, see if Instagram is down, see if WhatsApp is down like it was a couple of days ago. That's really it. Like, I do follow a couple of business people there, maybe get some content ideas from Twitter sometimes. But generally, I would post something on Twitter, screenshot it on my phone, put it into Canva, into a pretty post, and publish it. And what's crazy is these kind of posts always perform better. I mean, it depends on your industry, but I've tested them on my client's account, and literally we did like a report, like a tracking report last month, or actually this month, like a couple of days ago. And I was like, it's kind of upsetting that sometimes you design a really good post and then it doesn't perform as good as a tweet, because people do share the heck out of these tweets. It's very shareable. People, especially if it's something relatable, if it's a really good tip, people, I mean, they really do love those. Now, carousel posts. So what a carousel post is basically on Instagram, like you have to remember that you want to keep people on the platform and on your profile, especially for as long as you possibly can. That's really what's going to tell Instagram, this person is relevant, the audience is relevant, let's show that person to more people. Now that's how people really go viral with, the platforms. So what you want to do is, so I generally, I don't know what I mean about like the stories, but basically you make this in Canva and on Instagram, like you've seen these carousels because you can just scroll through the post and you see like, like basically kind of like a mini blog post. So you can literally turn, again, take your TikTok video, take your YouTube video, 3 tips to parenting, put them into a carousel post. So, and I want to give you like a one mindset shift, because I know this is going to come up for a lot of you is, oh, what if people already saw that piece of content? Why would I post the same thing on multiple platforms? Multiple platforms have different people. And if you take a piece of content that you published a month ago and you recreate it right now, you are going to reach people, like different people. Like I would literally go into my Facebook profile into the year 2017, take a piece of content, recreate it, it's going to be fresh, right? Because there's people, like I've been building my audience for ages, so I know there's people that have not seen the content that I've created 5 years ago. So the same thing here.
Good. That's so good, Jelena. Oh my gosh, you just gave me, you just created so much less work for me, because I've been creating content for like 10 years now. That's a really hot tip too. Just to make it even easier, I've done this like a million times. If like, life was crazy this week or whatever, and I try to put out at least one new blog or video blog every Monday. I will just resend, like email my list, an old piece of content, an old video or blog. And I've like very rarely, if ever, gotten a complaint or even somebody noticed. But it's not even just because somebody opens your email doesn't mean that they clicked on it, that they read it, that they watched the whole video, all that kind of stuff. So great point, Jelena.
Yeah, so carousel posts, I mean, really, the thing with them, a lot, and I'm sure you noticed that if you have been an active user on Instagram, a lot of the times you would see the post and you just scroll past it. You're like, okay, so that's interesting, and maybe I'm going to come back to it later. You never will. That's kind of how it happens. And then you log into Instagram, an hour later, you see the same post, but you see the second post of that carousel, like the second,
Right.
image. So Instagram does give them a lot more love and a lot more attention. So keep that in mind. And again, they do take a little bit more time to create just because it's multiple images all in one. But again, if you repurpose, if you really nail that process down or outsource it to somebody, that's like a whole another outlet that you can create. Like how many do you create of these per week? Honestly, it doesn't matter as long as you're consistent. So if you have the time for one carousel per week, again, it's better than nothing. But again, repurpose as much as you can. Memes, this is something that I found this year to be the most shareable, the most brings the most amount of followers, is memes. So, and I'm sure you've seen like a lot of them on Facebook, you've seen a lot of them maybe on Twitter, on Instagram. For these, I will say you gotta have a little bit of creativity, and if you think of something funny or creative, like I shared with you, like the post that kind of went, I mean, not really viral, but I reached like 2,000 people just from hashtags on a Saturday when generally people, like they say, get lit or, kind of spend time off social media. It still reached 2,000 people because it was a meme. And I kind of like repurposed, I mean, it was somebody else's meme that I saw. So it wasn't even mine. So you can always repurpose somebody else's content, reshare, give credit when you know who it is, right? So it is shareable. Now, I did put like 2 accounts here. I kind of share them with my students as well, if like for women entrepreneurs. But you can find different memes, like they're literally all over, and I feel like they're still going to take over even more.
Cool.
And now some tools. Like I said, guys, I'm going to give you the slide deck. I'll give you the link here in a second. Some of the tools that I use. So Planoly is what I use for scheduling Instagram content. I've tried so many schedulers and I still find the Planoly is the best. $1.80 is actually the tool that I use to like engage with people and track. It kind of connects to your Instagram account and basically follows Gary Vaynerchuk's strategy. $1.80, like, leaving 2 cents on 90 posts, whether it's like on 10 hashtags or 10 leaders posts. If you need like some hashtag ideas, displaypurposes.com is like another, website. I wouldn't just copy their hashtags. I would just get ideas and then also go into Instagram and see what other people are using. Trello, Google Sheets, or ClickUp for planning, or Paper as well. So, but again, engagement mixed with content, that's what's really going to give you that organic growth. No magic. You know what I mean? You got to do both. So slides, JulianaOstrowska.com/Ron. You can kind of like screenshot this, download the slides, and that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Guys, can we give a round of applause for Jelena here tonight? Just some awesome stuff here in sharing how to use organic content and engagement. What I loved about her training tonight is that it was 100% free. So the only thing that you need for this strategy is time and creativity. Hey, Jelena, you mentioned you had that 333 post ideas.
Yeah, I can just drop the direct link. It is in the slide deck as well, but I can just drop a link. It's a little freebie.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Jelena, thank you for those freebies. Guys, just so you know, like the stuff that you learned tonight, like Jelena normally charges for this information. So we got a great training tonight. This will be recorded and this was recorded and be in your members area. Feel free to connect with Jelena, open her emails, read her stuff. She's a great marketer. Jelena, is there anything in closing that you want to say or you want to leave our coaches with tonight?
I mean, just stay consistent. Just choose one lane, and I would say embrace video marketing. I mean, I see all of you all on video. I'm pretty sure all of you probably are native speakers as well. So that's less, trouble for you with video, and go crush it. You'll literally have everything.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jelena. You're welcome to come back and hang out with us anytime.
Thank you.
All right, get some sleep. What time is it over there?
It's like 3 a.m.
Oh boy. All right, get some sleep. Thank you so much, Jelena. You're a blessing.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Awesome. Cool. All right, guys. So that was tonight's training. Coach Cindy, Coach Sadie, any of you want to add anything? Sadie, I know you're killing it with consistently creating content right now. Anything either of you want to add?
Yes, I do. Give yourself grace. Okay. Jelena has been doing it for a long time. Like, I remember her starting off, and we see awesome people like Jordan and Jelena, and we want to be at their caliber, but we need to know that comparison is of the enemy.
Amen.
He made you unique and individual with your experiences, that when she said to go and look at your industry leaders, the way you're going to present that content and simplify it to your audience, they'll consume it better from you when you make it relatable. Because they're out of the reach. Like, I can never be like Grant Cardone, but I can be Sadie. I'll never be like Ron, but I can be Sadie. Lorraine can be like Lorraine. Terry can be like Terry. I'll never be like Terry or Lorraine because I've never experienced their things. So when you go out, pray This is what I do. Lord, let my eyes, let them see your light through my eyes, through my words, through my voice. But above all, let them feel your heart through my words. And then I hit go. Because even though I've been doing it for a minute, I still get nervous to hit the live thing. And I'm a 3, 2, 1. Hi, thank you, Jesus. Let's go. Right? And allow Holy Spirit to talk through you, and don't delete it. Don't delete it, because there was times that I wanted to delete video and people private messaging me and say, I needed that today. I needed that today. So give yourself grace and know that you're doing these videos unto the Lord, not for yourself, unto the Lord. And one thing that Jelena's has been my coach. I messaged Ron. I'm like, dude, I had to pay for this. I paid a lot of money for what she just delivered. I'm like, oh my gosh. But what she taught was, and she gave it to you in a little, it came really quick and it went really fast. But sit down and write, Lord, what do you want me to tell my audience? What do they need to know? And just let God write through your hand. And the content will come. The content will come. So I just bless you. Don't hold back. Really show up in your birthright of the light that shines in you and through you, because it's Holy Spirit. So I bless you guys tonight. And thanks for coming. I've missed you guys, like for real. Ron had me busting my butt in that challenge. I'm not getting paid to say this. All right. When I started with Ron, I wasn't consistent in making money. I had no structure. I had no system. I had no order, direction, nothing. Ron and Jordan came alongside and said, we're going to help you. 9 months, 9 to 10 months, it's a baby. And Pam was there. And my coach, our coach, showed up when I couldn't go. God wrecked me, because this is family time. This is family talk. Okay. I hadn't talked to my daughters, for like 16 years. And I'm about to present my offer. I mean, I have one daughter that I kind of talk to, but it's very cordial. Hi. How's your day? Good. What'd you eat today? Nothing. That kind of talk. And I was going to present my offer that day. And I couldn't get my slides together. I couldn't get my thoughts together. And God goes, reach out to Nadine and have her give you a pep talk. And I'm like, God, she never answers me. You know the kind of conversations she has with me. And he goes, reach out to her and ask for a pep talk. So I did. And she said the most beautiful words that I never thought I'd hear out of her mouth. I am so proud that you're my mom and that you're helping women heal. I watch your videos. Even though I don't comment, I watch your videos. And your videos have helped me forgive my dad and my stepmom. This whole time I was doing videos to help my audience. I was reaching out to them, but something Ron said, he goes, look, you were parenting and mothering your daughter with these videos. And that wrecked me. And here is the day that I was supposed to present my offer. And I'm like, Coach, I can't do these slides. He goes, don't worry about it. I got you. And here the presentation comes up and I'm like, and I had to be humble. And here I am in front of, a couple hundred women and I'm like, look, I'm about to birth something. I don't even know what this looks like. I don't know what it looks like, but this is what birthing looks. And I presented, and everybody got to see what Warrior Nation looked like at the same time of seeing a baby. The baby comes out, you don't know what it looks like until the same time. And I got stuck at a certain point and I couldn't talk because of the overwhelming love of God, where our coach stepped in and helped me out until I was able to get my legs. And then he passed it back to me, and then I would lose it again. And I'm like, coach, and he's like, he would jump in. So he's sincere about you guys winning. Don't be putting your guy's self on the side saying, oh, he doesn't look at me, or he doesn't notice me, or whatever the enemy puts in your head, he notices each and every single one. And when it's time for you to go out and launch your thing, he's not going to leave you by yourself. He's not going to leave you by yourself. I'm for real. Because I've had other coaches where I've gotten stuck in something and they never showed up. He didn't have to show up to my event. He didn't have to, but he did. And he helped me through pushing my baby out. So we can say that he's a mid-husband. I don't know if they call them midwives, but a mid-husband. Through the hardest part, I mean, I've been on the online arena and paid a lot of money. And finally, and Ron and Jordan with his funnel skills. And it's sad that he has to go, but with his amazing funnel skills, there was women who were delivered through the help of amazing brother Joseph. 30 demons coming out of this lady. Women who couldn't forgive the abusers. I mean, trust Ron in the process. For real. Anyways, I just wanted to give that little testimony of the greatness of the Lord and the ability of funnels. Like, trust the process, guys. Because you know what does win? Your avatar is real. I used to be like, whatever, avatar. Here we go again, avatar. The who, the ideal client. Come on, can we get past this? It makes you money. It really makes you money. It really does. Because when I was done and I'm like, Ron, here she is. Here she is. Like, really, she showed up. She showed up. So I bless you guys. I love you. And you guys are my family. And I just want to thank you guys, like, for the prayers and the support. And yeah, you guys are next. Linda, you're next. Joy, you're next. Joey, you're next. Terry, you're next. Joseph, you're next. Gloria, Kay. I call her Nanis because, just my Spanish. Nancy, Terrence, Monica, Lee, Jessica, Jane, Mimi, all of you guys are next. You guys are next. I love you.
Can I piggyback?
Absolutely.
Okay, guys, you're where you need to be. Do not doubt that God sent you here. I'm going to say it again. I'm believing and sensing lately that some of you are questioning, am I really supposed to be here? This is getting hard. I really have to dig in and do what? I really need to do what? I need to deal with what? I really don't want to deal with that. You just heard what Sadie said. This is not just for Sadie. This is for every one of us. You are here because this is a divine appointment. Don't mess it up. I say it to you in all love. Don't mess it up. Don't go looking elsewhere. The grass isn't greener anywhere else. This is the place where you are right now. This is where you need to be. Go through the process. Stick with the process. You heard Sadie. The fruit's here for everybody. I just want to encourage you. I love all of you and I want to encourage you. You are all here. I'm so excited for what God is going to do. Just remember, every one of us carry a different piece of God. We're all a part of him. We have something that nobody else has here. It may sound like, okay, we're doing the same thing, but even with the strategy calls that I'm doing, starting out with the logos, you have a piece of you that nobody else has, and that has to be brought out. CCC is where you need to be. Don't think you made a mistake. Stay with it.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Sadie, for those words of encouragement. That's awesome. I can tell you this. In fact, I can promise you this. If you stay here, you do the work, you will succeed. You got a great team of coaches. You got a great team of funnel designers from Good Spark, and all the other people that we're hiring, we're adding new done for you services. And I want you guys to know my heart. Well, I think you already do. I never really been in this for the money. Like, yeah, I need that so I can build the camp and conference center in the next 3 years. But all I care about is building the kingdom. The money part, God takes care of the money part. The money part is a byproduct of following his voice, because he knows that you need provision. He knows that you need that. Money's really just a tool, right? When we're stuck with it now, there's just other growth for us to do first. That's all. And it's a process. All right, guys. I think that's a great spot for us to say goodnight. Pastor Joseph, could I ask you to pray us out? I feel like we got like 3 Pastor Josephs in here. Joseph Pedroza.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. I just wanted to just confirm, though, the Lord will give content ideas, guys. We just have to be listening. We have to spend adequate time in prayer, and then just be sporadic in obedience. If you think you heard it, you heard it. If you thought you saw it, you saw it. Just for some insight into the spirit realm, because we think we see things and we're like, oh, there's nothing there. You think you saw it, you saw it. If you thought you heard it, you heard it. There's no way around it. We just need to learn how to use our spiritual senses and not our physical senses. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, let's pray. And if anybody wants to know about the Antichrist spirit, hop on my page in about 20 minutes. Be learning about the Antichrist spirit in the church and how it is more rampant and active than what we think. Just in case you want to not go to bed. But let's pray. Oh, most gracious Father, we come and we acknowledge that you and you alone are the one who holds all wisdom, knowledge, understanding, power, and authority. But we thank you so much that you have extended so much to your church, God, to establish dominion. And I just pray, God, that everything that was taught tonight would be received and applied, that we may go and establish dominion in the harvest field of the internet. I also pray, God, that we would understand that we are called to make disciples and not just number followings on social media. And so I pray that we would truly engage with people and teach them everything that Christ has said and everything that he says. I just pray, Lord, that you would give us rest tonight, for rest is promised and it is received through faith. So the power of the intercessors, God, I receive this rest in faith and I loosen it upon your children in Jesus' name. I command any hindrances or distractions, any demons that hinder sleep tonight to be bound now in Jesus' name. We love you, Lord. We just thank you for gathering us in your faithfulness, in your sovereignty, and in your love. We exalt you and we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Good night, Christ Center coaches. Who's going to go make some videos, some TikToks? Who's getting out there? Not seeing some hands go up. Lee, Mimi, where you, Terry, Rafi. I can see you all. All right, there we go. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you soon.